What if I told you that the few moments right before you fall asleep are actually the most powerful of your entire day? We're about to dive into this hidden window of opportunity to fundamentally change your life. And yeah, it all starts tonight.
I mean, just think about that for a second. That's a third of our lives where our minds are just left to wander. And usually they're just reinforcing the very same patterns we're trying so hard to break. It's this huge missed opportunity that most of us are completely unaware of.
And this is the real question, isn't it? Look, this isn't some kind of wishful thinking or magic. We're talking about a specific, teachable method for rewiring your brain at its deepest level. And it uses a natural state you slip into every single night. All right, so what is really going on when we close our eyes? Well, while your conscious mind and your body are getting some much-needed rest, your subconscious mind, it never clocks out. It is always on, constantly processing, organizing, and literally creating the blueprint for your tomorrow.
You know, I love this analogy. Think of your subconscious mind as a garden. It doesn't judge the seeds you plant, it just grows whatever you give it, no questions asked. The problem is, most of us spend the last moments of our day planting seeds of worry, stress, and self-doubt, and then we wonder why that's what we harvest the next day.
So, to really harness this power, we've got to understand the architecture of our own minds. It's basically operating on two completely distinct levels, and knowing the difference between them, well, that's the key that unlocks everything.
And check this out. This really puts the power dynamic into perspective. Your conscious mind, the part of you that's logical, that thinks and analyzes, it only drives about 5% of your life. The other 95%, all your habits, your automatic reactions, your deepest beliefs, that's all run by the subconscious.
Now here's why that is so crucial. Your conscious mind, that 5%, is the goal setter. It's the part that decides, hey, I want to be more confident, or I want to be less anxious. But your subconscious mind is the goal achiever. And if it's not programmed for that goal, you're just going to feel stuck, like you're constantly fighting against yourself.
And this brings us to the theta state. This is the secret gateway. This is the exact same brainwave state that expert meditators work for years to achieve, but it happens to every single one of us naturally, every single night as we're drifting off to sleep.
Think of it like this. All day long, your critical, conscious mind acts like a security guard, rejecting any new ideas that don't match what you already believe. But in the theta state, that guard goes home. The front door to your subconscious is left wide open, ready for new programming.
Okay, so we get the why and the when. Now let's get into the good stuff, the how. This all comes down to a really simple, practical technique you can start using literally tonight to intentionally program your mind.
So the practice has two main parts. First is evening reconstruction. This is where you mentally complete the day so your mind isn't just churning on it all night long. And second, future construction. This is where you deliberately plant the seeds for the person you want to become tomorrow.
So during this reconstruction phase, the goal is not to judge yourself or beat yourself up. It's about extracting wisdom. When you ask yourself these kinds of questions, you're basically signaling to your subconscious, hey, lesson learned, we can let today go now. It's an incredibly powerful way to find some closure and peace before you sleep.
Okay, this right here might be the single most important concept in this entire explainer. You can't just think your way into a new reality. Your subconscious doesn't speak English. It speaks the language of emotion. You have to generate the actual feeling of the state you desire.
And this is where a lot of people make a mistake. Don't get so bogged down in visualizing specific things you can't control. You want to program the internal state. Your subconscious doesn't really know what a promotion is, but oh man, it understands the feeling of confidence perfectly.
Now, doing this once is great, but the real, lasting transformation, that comes from making it a consistent practice. So this last section is all about how to actually integrate this into your life and what you should expect as you go. The work isn't over when you wake up. Before you just flood your brain with emails and social media, you have to create what's called a morning bridge. Just take 5 minutes to remember and reactivate that state you chose the night before. Carry it with you into your day.
It is so important to have realistic expectations here. For the first couple of weeks, you might not see, well, anything. You just have to trust that the seeds are germinating underground. Then, usually around week 3 or 4, you'll start to see the sprouts, these little noticeable shifts in how you automatically respond to things.
And please, be aware of these common traps. The absolute biggest one is inconsistency. just quitting right before the breakthrough happens. The second is choosing the easy distraction of your phone over the life-changing work of programming your own mind. And don't let the simplicity fool you into thinking it can't work.
If you take one thing away, let it be this. The secret is repetition, not perfection. You don't have to do it flawlessly every single night. You just have to do it. Consistency is what builds those new pathways in your brain. 10 minutes every night is way more powerful than trying to do it for an hour once a week.
You know, at the end of the day, you don't need some super complicated system. You just need to work with your mind's natural architecture, using the gateway it gives you every single night. The method itself is incredibly simple, but the impact it can have on your life, well, that can be truly profound.
So, that really brings us to the end. You have the knowledge now, and you have the technique. The only question left is the one right here. Tonight, as you're lying there in that quiet, super receptive state, what seeds are you going to choose to plant?